Welcome to Mars, everyone! I am the MoeChicken, and we are back with more Godzilla, Monster of Monsters. In the last episode, we began the journey of Godzilla and Mothra on their journey to defeat Planet X and their bevy of space monsters, and we are currently in the second stage, which is Mars. And as you can see, Mars is a very volcanic planet. So, we know two of these guys. This is Mogera and Godzilla. We saw them in the last episode, and we have a new monster. I will. Do y'all want? Is it more fun to let them? I'll let you guess who this is until I actually encounter them. But let's get going. So Godzilla, move. So yes, this entire planet has like lots of volcanic activity, which is kind of annoying because the volcanoes can be like you can punch volcanoes to death. It is true. But they're still annoying, because they, like, shoot out little pellets everywhere, and it's dumb. Stupid volcano. Oh, so dumb. So dumb, volcano. Oh. Punch, 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 punch. Punch, punch, punch. Punch, punch, punch. Punch, 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 punch. I mostly punch with Godzilla. Like you can kick, too. Kicking is great for, like, low things, as you might expect. Also, if you hold down and kick, you do the tail whip. But, I don't know, mostly a punch. Mostly a punch. Mothra! So Mothra... I think I mentioned this in the previous episode. Different monsters are good against different opponents. Likewise, for example, Godzilla is terrible to fight with Mothra. Because what Godzilla will do is knock you down and then places you below the tentacle. And then you're just kind of, like, stuck down there. Whereas with Godzilla, because he's so tall, you can sometimes get in punches and, like, kind of pull yourself out of it. Plus, the nuclear breath does a lot more damage and is a forward projectile, whereas the feather or the dust thing is a drop attack. It's sort of just in general not as good to fight Godzilla with Mothra. Similarly, there are certain monsters that are not very good for Godzilla to fight, which we haven't encountered any yet, and I don't want to give anything away, so I won't say who they are. But you will see me fighting certain monsters, like being very specific about which monsters I use when. So you don't actually have to kill these things. I think the only thing you get out of them is like extra. Where's the point of damage on this thing? I think you get, like, extra points, which are equivalent to your experience points. But you could know that I could just walk past it. If I wanted to, I could just be like, nah, just keep going. Ooh, he's purpled. Lovely. Alright, let's move Godzilla forward. I usually try to keep the two monsters close to each other, so that if I get in a situation where, like I said, there's a monster that one or the other is bad against, I can bring the other one in. That's usually my plan. I also found that when I played it before, it worked a lot better if I tried to keep them about the same level, and then just kind of like swap them out based on who needed to do what. One thing that I find a little odd about this game, that if they like remade it, I think they should change, is that like you would think that since different monsters are better equipped for different like environment fights, that you could like clear out certain things. You know, it's like, let's say Godzilla, I mean, that was pretty good. Godzilla was good at fighting the giant brain, and you had a brain in the way, you could go in with Godzilla, and then Mothra could fly past it. But it's not the case. If you go to an area, you pretty much have to fight what's there. So, I don't know, it's a little odd. No. Walk past Mogera. Oh, that thing. Okay, so do you see this, like, this kind of glowing fireball looking thing? That is the most dangerous enemy in the game. I'm not even kidding. Like, that thing is more dangerous than King Ghidorah. That thing is extremely dangerous. And yes, King Ghidorah is in this game. I guess I gave that away, but because what it does is it just kind of like, while it is colliding with your sprite, it just does damage. And so it can do a tremendous amount of damage in a very short time. Alright, well... Okay, yeah, there we go. Godzilla, yes. I want to fight Godzilla. Cool. Alright, so I can fight Godzilla, and then maybe I can bring, Mothra over to fight, Megara, because I think Mothra is a little bit better at Megara. I've noticed that, like, with a lot of the monsters that Mothra is better against, it's because her hitbox allows her to be, like, shorter, and, she can, like, shoot things in, like, the ankles. That usually works pretty well. So the interesting thing I found out about Godzilla, because like after I beat this game, I went and looked up all the monsters. And Ed, put up a picture of Godzilla so we know what they look like. Godzilla apparently was not originally a Godzilla monster. Know this. Stop, Godzilla. Stop, please. Thank you. Enough. Ah, see, I ran out of time. Well, I want to... not gonna move. Fight Godzilla, yeah. Apparently, all Godzilla. And eventually, they all became Godzilla because Godzilla was so popular. Alright, you gonna fight me, Megara? I'll fight you then. Weird-looking thing. Put up a picture of Megara so we know what Megara looks like, Ed. It's got like a buzzsaw on its back and like it looks kind of like a mole, I guess, in the face. It's not doing anything. He's just kind of hanging out. I'm gonna keep tail whipping him. Alright, he just kind of spaced out there. Thanks, Megara. Appreciate the experience points. Alright, I want to fight this monster. Yes. It's Varan! It's Varan! That's the purple monster. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so like, Toho just kind of like owned a bunch of monsters. And like, a lot of these monsters are in the Godzilla universe now because of there was a movie called like Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, I think is what it was called. And in that movie, they just kind of like pulled out all of the rubber suits they had, and they're just like, Godzilla's gonna fight everything. Just have Godzilla fight everything. And so all these monsters that weren't originally like Godzilla monsters, they were just kind of their own thing, they became Godzilla monsters, which I find kind of fascinating, because my first exposure to most of these monsters was this game. And so I was like, oh, here we go, Varan. So Varan's kind of funny, but he's really easy to fight if you play as Mothra, because like he can only really attack you with his hands, and you can like shoot him in the thigh, and he can't really do anything. I was like, yep. We will see over the course of this playthrough that a lot of Mothra's fights are this, just me holding down the attack button and just shooting in the thigh. Yep. I love how expressive Varan is, though, because like sometimes we'll be like, "Whoa!" All right, no, I'm gonna keep fighting you. Right in the thigh, or right in the kneecap right now. He's like, "Why can't I hit you? I'm hitting your wings. Why doesn't it matter?" No. Actually, yeah, just sort of in general, Ed, as we get to new monsters, put up pictures of them so people can see. Apparently, Varan is supposed to be like a, he's like an actual dinosaur that, emerged from like a giant crevice in the ground, I think. And like, he kind of looks like a, if you know what an ankylosaurus is, it kind of looks like that, but like standing up. It's like a bipedal ankylosaurus without the little smacky part on the tail. Yep. 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 Rand's like, I thought I had you! It was so close! Alright, cool. So now we have to get to the end of the stage. Godzilla is still outpacing Mothra in terms of HP, or in terms of level, but I think that'll start to change once we get more varied monsters. Like, a lot of the monsters early on are very good for Godzilla. I'm assuming because the game designers knew people would want to use Godzilla, so they're like, we're going to make it so that you get used to Godzilla early on, and like you get to where you like using Godzilla. And this missile is just chasing me all over the place. It's a little bit ridiculous. Yeah, anyway, so getting back to that idea of, like, the monsters that weren't originally Godzilla things. A lot of them weren't. Like, I think Gazora was... I think Gazora was from space. I think Gazora was a space alien. Varan, as I said, was, like, a dinosaur. I don't know much about Mogera. Actually, when I said I looked up all the monsters, I think I forgot to look up Mogera because they're just so forgettable. Because they're just not that impressive. It's just like this weird tin can monster. It's like, beep, beep, beep. I am a tin can armadillo with a buzzsaw in my back. Yes, I did punch that geothermal activity. I did shoot that geothermal activity until it stopped doing things. It's a good time. This game is so cool. It's cool. It's what I would describe as NES cool, you know? Like, it's a simple... Oh, there's one of the things! Oh, I don't want it to hit me. I don't want it to hit me. You can kind of fake them out, and it is especially important to do with Godzilla, because Mothra has, like, generally a smaller hitbox than Godzilla does. And so those things can lay into Godzilla way more than they can against Mothra. Mothra! I like to pronounce Mothra's name as though it's like Mom-Ra from Thundercats. Mothra! And it's funny. I don't know. It's funny to me. There you go. That's primarily why I do most things in my life. It's funny to me. Yeah. Yeah. What was I saying? I was saying something right before it. Mogera... the dangerous fireball creatures. I don't know, whatever. Have I mentioned yet that those things are health? That little thing that's floating away that kind of looks like a jellyfish? That's a health pellet. The game is honestly very... Oh, here's one. You also can't kill them, those things, and so you really do just kind of have to avoid them. The game is very generous, not only with their distribution of the little health pellets, but also with how much they... Oh, jeez! I didn't even see it. Also with how much they give you back. They give you, like, 4 pegs or something. It's pretty nice. I don't know if that's, like, we made it easier for the American audience or what, but it is very generous. I guess I haven't mentioned this either. The sort of win conditions. Your characters don't really have extra lives. You have 1 Mothra and 1 Godzilla per stage. And if both characters are defeated, obviously you game over. But as long as one character makes it to the end, on the next stage you will have both back. So there may be a couple of times where... Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm gonna avoid it. There may be a couple of times where I lose one or the other, but hopefully I won't game over. We'll see. I like that for Mars you get the cool, like, opening scrawl song. This is a cool song, and I'm glad that it's like a level song too. This is by far the most, like, memorable song for me. Alright, move, Godzilla. Blip, blip. Budge. The sheer scale of the monsters, or the environments in this game is ridiculous. Like, oh shoot, there's one. Oh, did you see how much damage it did to me? Just like, it was barely even in contact with me for any time at all, and it still did that much damage. They're ridiculous with how much damage they do. And they only become more common as the game goes along, so you really have to get used to figuring out how to, like, fake them out early on. Up, and ignored. Okay, yeah. Because, like, they can't turn around. Once they get past you, you're safe. So you just kind of have to, like, find a way to get past them. I suppose I should have a name for it so I can describe it. I'll call it a jellyfish. Death jellyfish. That seems like a fitting name. Eat that, tectonic activity! I'm Godzilla, I don't care about you! Ow! Get out of my way! Get out of my way! Phoenixes! Phoenixies! So many phoenixies! Look at all of them! Oh, death jellyfish. Oh no, oh! The worst thing that can happen with the jellyfish is, like, if they knock you back as Godzilla, because, like, when you get knocked back as Godzilla, you kind of stumble back a few feet, and the entire time that you're stumbling, they're still doing damage to you. So, very, very dangerous. The other kind of funny thing about playing this game is that, like, you just sort of get used to not caring too much about, like, all of the things shooting at you, because a lot of things shoot at you in this game. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of shots all over the place. But again, since those little, like, oh, death jellyfish. Yeah, okay. Since those little, like, health pellets heal you so much, kind of doesn't matter that much. Really, the biggest challenge is the death jellyfish. Like, other than that, it's not too bad. Death jellyfish. Also, yes, as Godzilla, you can just kind of slide along the ground if you want to. A little bit silly looking, but whatever, it's fine. Whee! I'm Godzilla! Look at me go! I'm Godzilla, I'm very slippery. Godzilla is known for being very slippery. Huh. Stupid wall things. Ugh. They're only really a problem for Godzilla, because, like, they don't... It kind of takes them a little bit to open up, and, they almost always open up, like, right as I go by, which... Ah, death jellyfish! No! Oh. Like that. They always bump me back like that. Alright, cool. There we go. Alright. Let's go. Ow! Like, this song just has such, like... Oh, death jellyfish. It has, like, such strength of purpose. You know what I do? This is a consistent thing that I noticed when I played the game previously. I don't use my nuclear breath on stages very much. And I don't know why. I just forget about it. Like, I only really remember about it when I'm fighting the giant monsters. Other than that, I'm just sort of like, nah, I can just punch. And just punch. Punching works. Getting back to what I was saying before about, like, how I feel like there should be some mechanic where you can, like, clear out an area with one of the monsters. Prime example would be, like, the boss stage. You know, like, one of your monsters is low in health, you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna go in there as Godzilla so that Mothra doesn't have to worry about it, or vice versa. But no, you have to go as both of them, so it almost doesn't matter that you have two monsters. Again, like, having two monsters only... Death jellyfish. Only really seems to matter with the fighting against the various giant monsters. Like, the stages, it just doesn't matter. It's just not a thing. Ow. Oh, so they said the entire solar system is the battleground. I beg to differ. We do not go to Venus, nor do we go to Mars. So, yeah. They lied to me. They lied to me! Mothra's, like, wing shedding thing is just very... doesn't work a lot of the time. It's very doesn't work. Alright, another one down. On to Jupiter. Let's see what Jupiter's like. Ooh, Jupiter's got cool music. And it's a jungle. It's full of plant areas. So what do we have? We have Megara again, we have Varan, we have Gazora, and we have a new one. So I hope you'll come back and join me as we fight some new monster on Jupiter. I am the MoeChicken. This has been Godzilla, Monster of Monsters. And thanks for stopping by.